in Dubai, because we have a branch of my business out there, and they said that this is normal for them because there's been so much war.
Yeah.
They've literally got
Become
used to
desensitized.
raving
Yeah.
with the war zone, you know, miles away.
I suppose if I lived there, maybe I'd have the same approach. Maybe that's the only way you deal with it. But on the outside looking in, for me, the whole scene was supposed to be about peace and love and everyone being really cool. I mean, that's what I know. You know, I've been going to. It stems back from going to visit in the island for the first time, Ibiza, for the first time in '87 with my band, and that was the greatest eye opener for me. Going to that island really radically changed my life. That did. That place, yeah.
How's Ibiza changed you?
Oh my God.
It's changed me.
How can I describe that mad island? Every time I land, I feel like I've gone home. It's really weird.
Yeah.
There is a real level of energy that I can only say I've never been anywhere in the world, which has got this energy which is like positive, so positive and so negative. And if that island doesn't love you, it will swirl you around in its mouth and it just spit you out.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people stay, go. It's a reflection of yourself on that island. It tests you. It gives everything for you to do, and it's up to you to put the brakes on. If you don't put the brakes on, you can get burnt out on that island. What's radically changed is the commercialisation of it has gone through the roof. The levels of commercialisation is when it kind of first came into prominence in the late 50s and 60s, and when Franco was in power, he kind of reigned Spain with an iron rod as a right-wing kind of dictator, and he literally had control of everything. The one island he left alone was Ibiza. Because his thing was, let all the freaks go there. I know where they are. Just leave them, get on with it. So all the poets went there. All the kind of left to centre people from Spain would end up in Ibiza, and it's traditionally been like that, going back thousands of years. Because originally, these Roman legions used to send their guys out there to party. So it's always been a party island for going back all this period. So, and the people that live there, the Ibifincos, they've always been very cool and easygoing, not fast. So when he kind of allowed that to happen, what would then happen was, as the 50s came into the 60s, and the kind of the what they call the jet set community started flying around, and then the hippie movement started coming to prominence. The rich kids from the aristocracy from around Europe wouldn't go to Ibiza. They used to turn their noses up at it. Now the freaks out of the rich kids, the really freaky ones that had a lot of money, whatever, would go to Ibiza, and you never have a clue that they were rich. They would just go there because no one judged them. So the island started off with quite pockets of individual artists and very wealthy people, and at the same time the clubbing community kind of started drifting over there from different parts of Europe as well. Not the house scene, this is pre-house. And then one of the main things that came over there in the 60s was a religious group from out San Francisco called the Children of God. They were a hippie group, really powerful, quite a big hippie group in San Francisco that got kicked out of America during the Vietnam War. And loads of them all left America, and they took the hippie movement around the world. And what they did, they decided to find spaces around the world, places and spaces, which had an esoteric background and a history. So they would go to Ibiza, they go to Goa, they go all these places, and which just became what's known as the hippie trail. So when they came to Ibiza now, they got thrown out of Ibiza, they're the ones that came with the first amount of drugs. They came with all the drugs first. And so ecstasy has been on that island for years. Years and years. But ecstasy is really interesting because ecstasy actually was legal in America up until 1983 or 84, because the doctors and the kind of psychiatric and the relationship world used to use it as therapy for couples to get together and not get together. Because originally it was developed by a German guy in the 1920s or 30s or something, and they trying to make it as a truth serum. All that was happening was people taking it and falling in love.
Wow. Didn't it come from India as well? I
I'm not sure,
it
but
came
I think
from India through to Ibiza.
I think that's another part of the hippie thing, but I'm 100% sure the original people that came with ecstasy to Ibiza were the original Americans that came over